Hello everyone, and welcome to the Netrock server. Today, it's a little bit of an impromptu episode actually. I hadn't really planned on making a video on the server today, but I kind of decided that actually yes I would basically. And the reason for this is very simple. I'm undergoing a big excavation project here, as you can see, because I did a little bit of research, and apparently this is supposed to be a slime chunk, and it extends for 2 more chunks in this direction. And I'm basically clearing all of this out. I'll make it look a lot neater later on, but for now I just need to clear out the space because I need some slime balls, basically. No other reason for it. I need the slime balls. So that's what we're doing. I'm excavating this big old hole here, and admittedly this probably will be a bit of a boring episode to sit and watch, but to listen to, hopefully it'll be alright, because I'm finding that actually, first of all, I'm enjoying recording on the server a hell of a lot more. I think getting a new world kind of rejuvenates things a little bit. It gives you a new kind of, gives you a new love for the game. It gives you a different way of doing things and a fresh start to have a go at doing something you perhaps didn't do on your old world or something like that. Like, did you ever push a sheep off a cliff? You have now. You see? All that sort of thing. So yeah, partly I'm enjoying recording on the server a hell of a lot more. So it's possible there's going to be a lot more Netrock episodes in the future, which is good. You know, I think it's probably one of, if not my most popular series on the channel, which is, you know, that is good news for one thing. And also as well, it just gives me a nice opportunity to talk, especially when we're doing a menial task like this, a repetitive task that takes a long time. Why are you coming back up here? I pushed you down for a reason. But yeah, on these repetitive tasks, it helps me pass the time a little bit better. Because, you know, I've got to stand here and carve all of this out, and it's a lot easier if there's something to kind of distract you from it, or it just helps to pass the time. And I generally do that just by either listening to music, or, you know, because that's actually a really good way of doing things. You know, you lose track of time when you're listening to music. It's really interesting. Journeys seem to take a lot less time. I find journeys take a lot less time, or seem to take a lot less time, if I'm listening to music on the journey. Because, you know, rather than, not saying that I do, but rather than counting the minutes that you're on that journey, you know, you end up counting the amount of songs you listen to or something like that. So, for example, my walk into work is about 40 minutes. Okay? It takes about 40 minutes for me to walk. And if you think about it, just take 5-minute songs, for example. Assume that most of the songs you would listen to on the way are 5 minutes long. That's only 8 songs, and, you know, time feels like it goes quicker because you're only counting the time in those little 5-minute chunks, if that makes sense. So I listen to music sometimes when I'm doing all of these tasks, because they help things seem to go by quicker. Of course, if the blocks are reappearing like they are now, that really isn't helpful. That just makes things feel like they take even longer. But one of the other things I do is, if people are on Skype and on the server or something, I get chatting to them, and, you know, we just have a nice little chat, and they help time go by. You know, it's just ways of trying to pass the time whilst doing these odd jobs, as it were. And this time around, because it's sort of fairly early in the morning, I suppose. Either people aren't awake yet, or if they are, they're working and all that sort of thing. So, yeah, I haven't done any work on my house yet. You know, because priorities, slime first. Where's that zombie at? What are you doing in my house? You set fire to the place. Yeah, you burn. Oh my good gravy. I do like it on hard mode, actually. The zombie sieges were fun. Now it's on hard and there are zombies all over the shop. It's super duper fun. But yeah, so as I was saying, it's still relatively early, I guess, in terms of people being online on the server. I get up quite early in the day. I'm an early bird, and everyone else is a bit of a late starter if they're going to be on. So I'm going to come on in the mornings, get a few jobs done and stuff, and then later on we can just hang out and things. But because no one's up and I have this job to do, I have elected that I'll talk to you guys for however long I decide to make this video, because I don't know, I just fancy a chat really more than anything. I've been listening to soundtracks for a little while now. The Banjo-Kazooie soundtrack was my soundtrack of choice for most of the work I've done here so far. You know, all that sort of stuff. And now it's time for some chatter. So, well, let's start with Banjo-Kazooie. I'm intrigued to know how many people out there have actually played it, because I guess by today's standards it's kind of an old game. You know, Banjo-Kazooie was N64 era, along with Mario 64, which was a very defining game actually. I think a lot of games owe an awful lot to Super Mario 64. You might not think it, but Super Mario 64 introduced a lot of concepts at the time that are actually now fairly commonplace in gaming. Like, I think Mario 64 was certainly one of the first, if not then the first, like 3D platformer with like independent cameras and all that sort of thing. Certainly was for the Nintendo 64. I mean, that game, as I seem to remember reading, really pushed like what the N64 and the cartridges that were capable of. So yeah, it's kind of an old game, Banjo-Kazooie, and it's very similar to Mario 64. So if you've played Super Mario 64 but haven't played Banjo-Kazooie, then try and get around to playing Banjo-Kazooie, because it's a bit similar to Mario 64. You know, you have a hub world with loads of other little levels spinning off from it. You go around the levels collecting things and defeating bosses and all that sort of thing, earning power-ups. You know, it's a really good game, really, really good. And the soundtrack is amazing, as is often the case with older games. You know, a lot of time and effort goes into the soundtracks of old games, which I'm fairly sure I've spoken about before anyway. And I'm sure long-time fans will know that I am a huge fan of old school computer game music. We're talking like chiptune stuff, 8-bit, 16-bit kind of music, you know, the old school music. And that's my preferred taste in games as well. Again, people will know I'm not a console gamer. I don't own any modern consoles. We've got a Wii. We have a Nintendo Wii. That's the last console we bought. Before that, it was a Super Nintendo. Right, so we don't do consoles here. I don't do consoles particularly. I'm more of a PC gamer. But the old Commodore 64s, the soundtracks that came with those games and all the games from that era, phenomenal, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, that's what I have been listening to while I've been doing this. I've been listening to the Banjo-Kazooie soundtrack. Even if you don't play the game, just check out the soundtrack on YouTube. There's a couple of videos out there that have the full soundtrack on them, so do check them out. By the way, if I haven't said already, and if you haven't been able to tell, sorry, I'll say that again. If you haven't been able to tell, then this is going to be a Talkie episode, and you might be better off just listening in the background. You know, that's what I do for LPs a lot of the time anyway. I try to multitask. I have an LP going on half of my screen, and then on the other half I've got like this, you know, Minecraft loaded up, and I'm just doing occasional jobs and stuff. Just as some sort of background noise. I don't know what it is, and I don't know if other people are like this, but especially when I'm in the house on my own, I just need a little bit of background noise, just something going on. Even when I'm not in the house on my own, if I'm reading a book or something, I like having the telly on just for a little bit of extra noise. And I don't know why that is. If anyone does know why I'm like that, or if that's not just exclusive to me, if other people are like that, then let me know, because it's interesting to me. I find human behaviour, especially the odd facets of human behaviour, like needing to have background noise, really fascinating. So if anyone does know, do let me know. What else? Oh, Starwing. I was listening to the Starwing soundtrack, or Star Fox for the Super Nintendo. I think it was. Well, it was certainly Starwing over here, but I think for America it was Star Fox for the SNES. That was really pushing the boundaries of the Super Nintendo. The cartridge and everything inside it was specially designed to make use of everything that the console could offer, and then push it that little bit further. Can we sort this out, server, please? Thank you. That was really pushing the boundaries for a game of that time, both graphically and in its soundtrack. And again, it's a game I would thoroughly recommend playing, or at the very least listening to the soundtrack for. Yeah, that was a sentence that made sense. Especially if you're into old computer game music like I am. You need to listen. There are certain soundtracks you need to listen to. Starwing or Star Fox for the SNES is one of them. Monty on the Run, a game for the Commodore 64. That's another really fantastic soundtrack, especially considering how it was made. Because, of course, back then, it wasn't really, at least to my knowledge, it wasn't as simple as just sitting down with audio software, a computer, and a MIDI keyboard or something. It was a lot more intensive. And the guy who composed the soundtrack for Monty on the Run, Rob Hubbard is his name, British guy, worth noting. I seem to remember reading, composed the entire soundtrack bit by bit. So I can't remember how many music channels it has. Okay, I hope I'm going to explain this right. I'm not all too clued up on music technology and stuff. Toby will know more than I. But I believe it's something along the lines of the music channels are the various different instruments and stuff. Oh, ho, 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 look who's here. Various different instruments and stuff. So, for example, a modern day rock band might have 5 channels: vocals, lead guitar, rhythm guitar, bass, and drums. Okay? For example. And I think Monty on the Run had 8 to 16 channels. I can't remember. Whatever. Okay, 8 or 16 channels, something like that, because of 8-bit or 16-bit. I think it's 8-bit actually. So I think it was 8 channels. And he programmed every single note of all 8 channels of that 6-minute song individually. Okay, without the modern day technology. So he was sat there manually programming each note, not pressing a button on a keyboard and having the note be recorded. He programmed each note in the 6-minute song, which is pretty incredible stuff as well. But if you actually listen to it, there's so much going on. You've got like a lead melody, 2 drum lines, 4 rhythm lines. It's crazy how much is going on that track. And then there's all the technical stuff as well. There are like musical arpeggios all over the place. Like, especially at the start, you've got a real kind of thing going straight into it. That sounds really naff and is a really terrible impression of how the song goes. But it's phenomenal, especially when you think about how much effort had to go into making it and how amazing it sounds. So do definitely go and check it out, because it's really great. Yeah, as you can tell, big fan of old music. It's really cool. And whilst we're on a similar sort of thing, because that was all that sort of stuff was made using an audio chip in the Commodore 64, I think, called a SID chip. I can't remember what SID stands for now, but SID is a SID chip. And that is basically what's responsible for making the really unique sounds of games from that era. And for a while, there was a Swedish company, I think, called Electra or Electron, something like that. And for a while, they were making these things called SID stations, which were basically SID chips, but with controls. So whereas before, what you would have to do is you would have your SID chip and you'd have to do all the programming and stuff. This had the SID station has an actual tangible interface, as it were, with buttons and dials and stuff that you can interact with to generate the noises. And I would love to get myself a SID station, but they're no longer in production, partly because there's the SID chips aren't made anymore. They don't make them anymore, which is a real shame, considering how musically important they were and how versatile they were as well. But, times move on. So I was looking at these going, I really wish I could have one. But they also don't make the SID stations purely for the fact that... Oh, what was the other fact? These zombies are distracting me. Oh, no, that was it. They just don't make them. There was a Q&A thing, FAQ on their website saying, I have a spare SID chip. Can you make me one? And they were like, no, we don't make them anymore. Which is a real shame, because I would love to have one. And I'm imagining you can probably pick them up on eBay, but, they're probably going to be inferior quality. They might be broken, all that sort of thing. I'd love a SID station. There's several musicians, several bands that have SID stations in their music, and I didn't even realise. Linkin Park have their DJ, what's his name, Johan, something like that. He's got a SID station as part of his setup, which I didn't know, because I've listened to most of, if not all of, Linkin Park's songs. I've certainly heard all of their albums, and I don't ever recall hearing a noise that I would go, oh, that came from a SID chip. But apparently they do, and that's fascinating for me. There's another band who use this chiptune sounds really heavily, called Machine Supremacy. The Yogscast use a couple of their songs for various instances and stuff. This iron vein, man, the size of this. Crikey, oh, Bennett to Hades, and it just keeps on going. Look at it. This is never ending. That is so much iron. Look, it's still going. Wow. That was impressive. But yeah, a band called Machine Supremacy, and they use it a lot. They are a rock band. I think they stylize themselves as SID metal. I think that's what the phrase they use is. And they've done some really great songs, and they just have these little 8-bit chirps every now and then in some of their songs, which is really, for me, being a fan of the genre, it's really fun. It's really cool to hear. And then there are whole instrumentals that they do where there's just these Sid chirps all over the place, or they're doing rock and metal covers of chiptune songs. They did a cover pretty much of the Monty on the Run song, which was phenomenal, because I remember being stood at a train station waiting for my train, because why else would you be stood at a train station? And I was listening to this album, and then this song starts playing, and it goes dun, 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 and I'm like, I know that. What is that from? And then it drops into it and it starts going, and I'm like, that's Monty on the Run! Wow! And I was permanently happy for ages after that. It was fantastic for my ears. My ears are very fortunate, right? Which is a very odd thing to say, I know. But I treat them to some very lovely noises every now and then. They don't know how lucky they are. It's a very, very weird sentence, and I should stop on that tangent. I can't even remember how we really got onto all that. That was quite a nice little diversion. But yeah, I would love to have a Sid station. I would love to be able to make my own chiptune music. And I came across some software called Famitracker a little while ago, free to download off the internet, and you can use that to make songs and stuff from like NES, SNES era, Famicom. That's where it gets its name from, Famitracker, Famicom. And I was toying around on that for a while, and came up with some pretty cool stuff, actually, if I do say so, and I'm allowed to say so myself. And I don't think we ever stopped being on hard. Stop. Yeah, I was toying around with that, and I feel like I made some pretty cool stuff, but it just wasn't doing it for me. I was kind of, well, this is great and all that, but I want to be able to. But it kind of felt lacking. It was like, yeah, this is great, but I want to be able to physically do it, with my hands, rather than just typing and clicking things. I want to have that tangibility. So I don't use that anymore. I don't mess around with it, really. I know it's there should I ever want to get back into it, but at the moment it's not for me, really. Also, I think I need to do a bit more studying on how to actually make music, how to compose a piece, as it were, and how to layer things properly, things like that, because all the songs I made, whilst they were cool, you can listen to them and it's like, yeah, there's something missing, though. If you listen to a lot of older video game music, it's very busy, even slower songs. Okay, so take for example Green Hill Zone from the first Sonic game. Okay, and actually there's a really good channel called Smooth McGroove, and that channel can really highlight to you how busy old video games are. It's basically this fella who can only be described as the offspring of Jesus and a Viking, right? He basically does a cappella versions of video game songs, and the video is kind of split up into however many individual frames, and he just sings these songs using only his voice. And he did Green Hill Zone from Sonic, and there was about 9 or 10 frames, which means that there 9 or 10 different things that he's trying to do, and you can see all the different attempts, all the different channels, if you like, that he's doing. And it's only then that you realise how busy the song actually is. You know, go and listen to it now. That's the bit everyone does, but underneath it you still got the all that, plus bass line and percussion and stuff. Or listen to Lavender Town. Fair enough, it starts off very kind of but then once it gets into it, again, there's a lot going on. You've got that lead part, then you've got like a little bassy undertone, a little bit of percussion, some rhythm going on. And when I was making the old school music, when I was making that music on Famitrack, and my songs would never sound that busy. Ergo, at least in my opinion, they never sounded as good as they could. So that's something I feel like I would personally need to work on if I was ever going to get back into that sort of stuff. Just making music sound a bit busier. Oh, that's good. That's good. It's good to talk. I like just chatting every now and then. It's good to just say things. You know, you don't get much opportunities in your everyday life to just talk and just say things, because the majority of the time you there's something you're trying to convey, or you're trying to engage and communicate effectively with someone. But with Let's Playing, it's a bit different, especially if you're doing something like this. You know, you have that freedom to just talk about anything that you want. My plan was never to sit down and talk about video games in this video, but that's what transpired in the end, and I am happy with that. You know, I feel like having these talky episodes is good. It helps you guys get to know me a little bit better as well. You know, there's over 1,000 of you out there now. Over 1,000. Oh, over 1,000 of you are subscribed to this channel, and I'm fairly sure a lot of people out there won't have seen some of the older videos I've made where I might have gone over this stuff previously. So doing these talky videos every so often actually is rather beneficial. It helps you guys get to know who I am, especially the newer subscribers out there. It helps you to just understand more about this odd person you're now subscribed to. You know, it's good. I think it's certainly no bad thing being able to just rabbit on. And you know, people who've been watching for a while, you'll know that every now and then I tend to have a moment where hey I have moments where I'm a bit kind of mad, is that the word I'm looking for? Where I'm just in the middle of a stream of consciousness while talking, and things go from bad to worse, and I'm just saying things and things aren't making sense. You know the kinds of episodes I mean. In fact, I think there was probably several several hardcore videos I've done where I've just been talking incessantly about random rubbish. You know, I'm fairly certain, if I recall correctly, there was an episode where I was just talking about eating coal. Or at least there was a moment in an episode where I was talking about eating coal. And, you know, I reflect on that and go, you know what, that wasn't necessarily a bad thing, you know, because the thing about hardcore was, especially on that playthrough, I think it was probably the first hardcore series I did. I really wasn't sure what I was doing. I knew what my objective was, but not really the best way to go around accomplishing it. And I spent a lot of time just faffing around. And so in order to make it entertaining, you know, I kind of had to be a little bit crazy. And, you know, on reflection, you can kind of look at it and go, wow, that's a bit weird. Thank God that's not a permanent thing, you know. I know there are LPers out there who've built their entire LPing career on non-sequitorialism. Raukau, for example, who does Super Mario World ROM hacks. Here's just a stream of consciousness, 20 minutes non-stop of nonsensical babbling. And he's phenomenally good at it, and he's a really entertaining guy to sit down and watch because of how random and how bizarre his commentary is. I don't know what that is. Is that Russian? It looks like something like I've just put some sulfur in the smelters. Yeah, no, he's really good at it, and McRussian. Yeah, he's really good at it, and I think if you can do non-sequitorialism and random stream of consciousness well, then it's a good let's play style to roll with. It's one of those things. If you can do it well, then go with it. And I don't think I do it particularly well, which is why it's not my main commentative style. I guess, if that's a word. I think, especially more so now. Now I've been doing this whole LPing business for a few years now. Actually, that's a scary thought. Actually, I don't know how many years exactly. I can't think when the first Let's Play I uploaded was. But it's been a few years actually that I've been doing this. That's quite mental. I need to do some research actually and find out about that. In fact, I'm going to go and do that right now. I'm going to find out when I uploaded my first LP episode. So I'll be right back. Right, or at least I would find out if YouTube was working. For some reason, the website appears to be a bit down at the moment. Yes, my frames have dropped. That's because I have got Chrome open in the background to try and get it going. Aha, here we are. Okay, now I'll be right back. Okay, so my first LP with Taylor, our first was a Minecraft video, and that went up on October the 10th, 2011. So it's over 2 years ago. My first solo LP was a custom map, the jailbreak map, I think it was. I mean, I've literally just closed the window and I've forgotten. Yeah, I think it was the jailbreak map. But the first episode of that went up on February the 10th, 2012. Did it? That doesn't make sense. I need to check again. I need to check this again. Yep, no, I was right. October the 10th, 2011 was the first video on Minecraft that me and Taylor uploaded. Our first LP video, if you like. And February 20th, 2012 was my first solo LP upload on this channel. Because I used to do LPing under a separate channel for a while before this one. But those channels don't exist anymore, so you can't go and watch those. Sorry. So yeah, that was that. And another fun fact for you. What month are we in? November. It's the 5th of November today. Ooh. Remember, the 5th of November, the gunpowder, treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Thank you, V for Vendetta, for telling me that rhyme, because I could never remember it before. V for Vendetta is a very good film. But yeah, interesting fact, it's currently the 5th of November, and my Dishonored LP began in January this year, and it's still not finished, which is mad. That's really, really quite terrible, actually. That is really bad, actually. It's taken me a whole year. Wow. And I don't know how much further I've got to go yet. That's quite awful. Never mind. I promise I'll make future series a lot quicker. Although, actually, to be fair, oh no, I was going to justify it, but I can't really. So that sucks. Actually, no. Wait. Yeah, no justification. Oh wow. Yeah, so I've been doing this LP and stuff for 2 years on this channel, as well as I guess a couple of years cumulatively on separate channels prior to this. And certainly in the past, I was very much someone who was aiming to be a non-secretarialist commentator like Raukau. And I'm sure that if I could track down any of those videos and watch them back, I would be mortified at them, just because it would be so forced, because I was watching Raukau's videos and I was like, oh well, that's a style that works, that's a style that I'm going to try and emulate. And whilst emulation is certainly no bad thing, bad emulation is a bit of an issue, and my emulations of Raukau were certainly very bad. And that I continued on in that vein of trying to be this random, funny, non-secretarialist commentator for quite some time. And certainly in recent times, I've probably become a lot more mature about how I do Let's Play. Take this video for example. This is very much a talkie video. And, we talk about more serious things, or more real things, I suppose, I mean, take the last talkie episode we had on the old Netrock world, where I was taking out the spider spawners, and I was talking about, my future, pretty much, what I want to do for a job, how I got to where I am, all that sort of stuff. And we're talking about a lot more real things, a lot more serious things, and that would have never happened under my old channels with the approach that I used to have. And I'm quite glad my approach has changed, actually. I enjoy these more serious episodes because they allow me to just, as I've said, have a bit of downtime with you guys, just have a chat, and you can get to know me. And you guys feel free to just post stuff in the comments on any video. I want to get to know you guys. Like I've said, there's over 1,000 of you out there now, and I would love to get to know you guys, because you help me keep motivation for this hobby that I have, and I'm really grateful for it. So interaction from you guys is awesome, and I would love to be able to interact with more of you more often, to a point where perhaps one day, if I'm ever fortunate enough to be in that position where I can be somewhere and one of you guys comes up and goes, hey, oh my god, I love your videos, if I'm at Minecon one year and one of you out there sees me and it's like, oh my god, it's you, hi, that would be awesome. I would be so made up if that happened. I want the interaction with you guys, so feel free to post comments, about anything. Let's just have a chat. I've been doing a lot of talking this episode. Now it's your turn to do some talking, or typing at least. Do some typing down below, and we'll have a conversation. That sounds like a great idea to me. Let's do it. I have decided. But there's still moments like that in my videos where things take a little bit of a departure. Like like that bit just then. Let's decide it. Let's do that. You know, it's all right to be a little bit crazy. Everybody is mad here, but I'm glad that that is no longer my what is a cest plate? I'm glad that is no longer my primary commentative style, I suppose. I'm going to take it back to video games for just a moment, because I learned a fact a little while ago, and I learned a fact a little while ago that I found really interesting, and I'm going to share it with you. I don't know how many of you have been aware of it, but you know, I'll let you know anyway. Maybe you guys post some video game trivia. There's a great website actually called what is it? www.didyouknowgaming.com, and there are some really fascinating bits of trivia on that website from video games, and this is probably where I heard it from actually. But the original Sonic the Hedgehog game for Sega, yeah, the one we was talking about earlier, that game, right, the bit at the start, the bit that goes Sega, took up more space on the cartridge than the actual game did, which to me just seems very weird. Think about, you know, the first Sonic game for just a moment. Think about how busy, electrically speaking, that game has to be. You know, you are moving at super fast speeds, so there's some super fast processing that needs to go on, some super fast rendering as well, plus all of the entities that end up on screen at any given time. You know, if you get hit by something, all those rings go flying out. There's a lot of processing and stuff that has to go on whilst you're playing that game, and in my mind that should take up a hell of a lot of space and a hell of a lot of power and capacity. But no, apparently not. Or if it does, the bit that goes Sega takes up a lot more and needs a lot more processing. It's really cool, really bizarre, and I love it. digyouknowgaming.com, go and check it out. There's some really fascinating stuff there. Some stuff you might know, but some stuff you see it and you go, wow, that is actually really interesting. Like, they do sort every now and then they post a bit of trivia about the history behind like Pokemon names and stuff, and there's this Pokemon that's named after something from Japanese culture, or designed like something from Japanese culture, that it resembles a balloon, and it's supposed to be a nod to this creature that was shaped like a balloon, and if children grabbed hold of the string, this balloon creature would carry them off to the afterlife or something. Really weird, but again really fascinating. Pressure plates or oh, it's a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, I'm such an engineer. Oh, look, we're doing alright though. We're still not deep enough to get slimes though. This Mega Tiger's really high up, it feels. 9 more levers to go. Nice and easy. Maybe we can get a quick change of scenery then. If Nay says yes, then we'll go over to Nay's. Yeah. Let's head over to Nay's. We'll fix her door and then we'll call it an episode, I think. We've done a lot of digging and everything's all wonderful. So I'm just going to get the episode thumbnail. There we go. What's payment? Yeah, there we go. I'm going to set up a redstone shop where people can come to and post their requests for redstone assistance and stuff, because all sorts of precious stuff. That's the subtle way of going diamonds. But that's only because I haven't been looking for them yet. I've been so busy trying to grab freaking slime balls here that it's just taking up all my time. Okay, well there we go. We'll put that there. I'm going to pick up my fishing rod as well. We'll do some occasional fishing on the way. Hopefully we'll get something nice. Where is my fishing rod? There it is. Look, I got that the other day. How cool's that? That's really cool. Okay, I'll see you over at Nay's place. Oh, we should bring something to enchant as well. Look at that. I'm doing alright for enchanting. I need to enchant something. So let's do a pick, I suppose. Where did I... Oh, put everything away. Now I can't find it. We're going to head over to Nay's via spawn. She has got a portal set up, which is very useful. But there is an enchanting table at spawn, so I will hopefully have a nice new pick. I already had a pick. Man alive. Alright, I'll see you over at Nay's house. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to record this. I'm going to record my journey, and then I think I'm going to speed it up, just so you can see how far away from spawn we actually are. So, I shall see you there. Here we are, back at spawn at last. It has occurred to me actually that you guys have probably seen that journey anyway, thanks to the previous episode. Ooh! Things be happening! Beware, Pokemon! Gotta catch 'em all! So what else have we got going on down here? Anything else new? Trees everywhere here, which is pretty great. Oh look, a couple of little bushes on the plate. Is there light under here? Is there some light there? Aye, I thought so. Oh, I know the tricks of the trade, me. Anything else new going on? Doesn't look like it. Oh well, yeah. Look, some nice trees going on here. That's pretty rad. Oh, there's foliage everywhere. Oh, this looks kind of overgrown a little bit. Oh dear. G'day mates, welcome. Today we're going to enchant ourselves a lovely pick. It's going to be magical. Ready? Boom! There we are, we've got a great little pick that'll be useful for digging out all the stuff. It's going to be wonderful. Awesome mate, awesome. We're going to catch ourselves one more fish, and then we're going to head off over to Nay's. Boom, boom. Boom 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 boom. Come on, little fishy. Oh, and I missed. After all that, I missed. One more. Hey, a salmon. Right, now let's go to Nay's. I wonder if there's any Endermen out on the plains. They appear quite frequently out here. Not this time. Is that an iron skeleton over there? Oh, it is. I think I should go and have a go. Doesn't look like he's glowing. His chest plate might be. Okay, let's... Oh yeah, I think his armor is... Maybe... Oh, I didn't want to do that. Let's see if we can get him from afar here first. Just weaken him a bit. Okay, let's do this. Let's finish him off. Is the entire set glowing? The entire set's enchanted. And he didn't have the nerve to give me any of it. Cheek! Unbelievable. Right, let's go to Naze. Let's finish this episode, because it is going to be mega long. Or something like that. Oh, I will be. I will be now. See you on the other side, folks. And there we go. Lovely bubbly. Now, let's see what... Oh! Get a payment job! Here I am. What do you want me to do? Point me in the direction, please. Where to? Point me in the direction. Get a cow job. What do I need to do? Where do I need to do it? Huh? Is it the front doors here? Because if it is, then I can do that. Lovely house, by the way. Well, hey! Whoa! Clap, clap, clap. So, these need to be ironed up. Okie dokie. Where's the doors? Doors, button, redstone, repeater. That'll do for now. I don't want to look in the payment chest yet. I want to install it first and then see it. Oh, this is so confusing. It's like, this way's the storage room because it's on this side of the house. No, the storage room's over here. Down and right. I mean, set for any eventuality here. Which button would gives you a bit more time. May as well. Ah, the super smelter 3000 lives here, smelting up the never act like that. Oh, and there is one here. May as well do two. May as well do two. One for each. How do I repeat her? Smooth stone, torches, dust. Just give it to me. I know what I'm doing. I don't supply my own materials. Good gosh, no. All I do is I turn up and expect payment. What sort of fellow am I? I am a builder. What's in there? Ah, stone. Come on! I need to... Gimme. Moo, said the cow. Okay, I'm gonna need another torch here. That'll, oopsie daisy. That'll do. We probably won't even need it, to be honest, but it'll do. We might need it. That's the important thing. Okay. Aha! The butons avec the doors. Right. So, how do I get out of here? Oh, it's up here. Right. Oopsie daisy. So, what we're looking at doing here, which way do they open? That way. Right. Okay. I'm going to try and chop that door down with a fish. That makes no sense. I have no materials for an axe. Oh, this is going to take ever. This is going to take ever, man. Forever and ever and ever and ever. So, theoretically, if we put the buttons here and here, that will save us a bit of resource. Then, all we need is to get rid of these. Then we can put a bit of dust there. That will power this door to my right, right here. And then, just to make it somewhat... Oh, you're kidding. Oh man, that scuppers the plan. Okay, then we need a new plan. Behold, the new plan! Hopefully, this should work wonderfully. Slightly out of time, but I quite like that. Done. Done-ish. Ish, yeah. So, now all I need... Whoops. Whoa, 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 come on, frames. Sort it out. Now all I need is some of these to make things a little bit easier to conceal. So if I put that there, still works, lovely. That goes there, that goes there, and then that sits there, and that is not the storage room. Whoops, that goes there, and then that sits in there. Fantastic. There we are, and look, none the wiser. And same on the other way. Oh yeah! I am the Redstone Master! Okay, here we go. Get a payment job. Ready? Woo! Oh, more than okay, more than okay. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Oh, wait. Your things. And my things. Oh, wait, that's not the chest. Break the chest, fool! Boom! Yeah! Sweet as! Okay everyone, that's a wrap. Thank you for watching the video. I shall see you all in the next episode. I hope you... Oh, there was me thinking we're done. What's now? What do you put in here? Okay, you got bedroom here. Victory Monument. But anyway, yes, that's going to be a wrap for today, everyone. I'll see you all in the next episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. It has been a bit more of a talky episode today. Whoa! Achievement get! On a roll! Haha! Yes. Anyway, I'll see you all next time, everyone. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you've enjoyed it. See you all next time. Leave a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment telling me what you thought. Let's have a conversation. See you all next time. Bye. Go away, Ghost, please.